God's Grandeur. G.M. Hopkins. Characters, speaker, poet. Theme: nature. God is always more powerful than the creatures, man, and without him man cannot live even for a moment. Summary: the world is full of God's glory. The poet constantly emphasizes that God's glory is hidden except on special occasions. The opening lines convey Hopkins' sense of the power and glory of God hidden in the world. Here, Hopkins is concerned with why other people do not respond as he did. Generations of men, ignoring the miraculous quality of life, have lost touch with the grandeur of God and become heartless to it. Their efforts have all been away from what is most essential to them. Man has betrayed his inborn nature instead of developing it, and has given himself up to trade, industrialization and materialism. He has isolated himself from the sources of knowledge to be found in nature, allowing his greed to destroy his natural sensitivity to beauty. Natural beauty is still a loving force to him, and a constant encouragement of God's concern for the world. Explicitly, Hopkins contrasts here the beauty of nature with the ugliness of mankind's deeds. Thus, the poem is a protest against the materialism of the Victorian age. Although man is greedy and wasteful, he may still hope to be saved as long as God is there. In short, in the poem God's Grandeur, the poet talks about the greatness of God in the world. He says that the world and its things are the creation of God. So, he is present in everything, whether it is small or big, alive or dead. But the poet is sorry because people do not have much faith in God. They are living in physical luxury and they are busy in making money through business, trade, etc. So, they have very little time to think about God. Short questions. 1. Give reasons why men are unaware of the greatness of God. Men are selfish, they only think to earn money. They involved in commercial and industrial activity used the machines and destroyed the forests. They make the earth ugly. But the God is always looking at the activities of them. At the bottom of world there is freshness. Man cannot totally destroy her beauty. The God's beauty is unchangeable and eternal, forever. So, they are unaware of the God being ignorant. 2. What is the central idea of the poem, God's Grandeur? In this poem, he praises the magnificence, greatness, and glory, proud of God in the world. The God is the protector of the nature. Though the man fails to recognize the power of the God and destroys the beauty of the nature, it is never emptied and does not disappear, rather the beauty of nature renews in every spring. 3. How can the man not destroy the beauty of nature? The poet says and thinks himself that the nature is the representative of God. God is great. God is unchangeable and endless. Man cannot destroy the beauty of nature because the freshness of nature always remains. When spring comes, the nature renews it. Nothing of the nature is lost. It is God's power. The beauty of nature appears just like the morning which comes after the dark night. 4. How is the glory of God praised in the poem, God's Grandeur? The glory of God is praised in the poem by representing the nature as God. God is great. God is unchangeable and endless. Man cannot destroy the beauty of nature. Nothing of the nature is lost, because it is the God's power to save the nature. The poem realized us that God is always more powerful than other creature. Long question 1. What is the central idea of the poem, God's Grandeur? The central idea of the poem, God's Grandeur, is that God is very powerful. The God is very great. The whole world is an expression of the God's greatness, but man does not know it. Man is ignorant of God's power. God is everywhere but invisible. Man has become commercial. He tries to destroy the beauty of nature, but the existence of God cannot be destroyed. In every spring season nature renews itself and nothing of the nature is lost because of the God's power. The beauty of the nature is at the bottom of the world. It comes on like the sun rises to the east in the morning. God protects the world and its living and non-living things, just like the bird which broods cover its young babies with its warm breast. The greatness of the God is permanent. Man can change the nature, but the God is unchangeable.